Hey everyone. uh, Everyone is doing well, I'm sure. First thing, we had the gathering in Kelowna, the first gathering. There were 7 of us there total, including the team. There were 3. We had anticipated more, but because of the current energetics that are coming in since yesterday, and it's still ongoing. There are sort of like a separation of some on different timelines. Now, this is very complex what I just touched on. However, it is occurring because uh, it it is appearing that between the waves of those ascending at the different levels, that the more advanced, higher consciousness ones, but not limited to, are going forward. So it's causing sort of like a sort of separation uh, between the overall awakened ones to some degree. So many chaotic, energetic things. You may be feeling anxiety, um, feeling tired. Those are very common things on and off. You may be tired for 15 minutes and then you may be wide awake. Uh, Lots of vibration, you name it. Lots of physical effects from this as well. Um, so, um, Getting back, we had the first gathering. We have an audio. We also recorded some of it. We'll be getting that to you in the near future. We didn't do it live when we were at the gathering. What we did is we were going to record it and try to give you a more refined product, perhaps where we would edit things to keep it shorter. Because one thing that each needs to appreciate with these gatherings, they are like 4 or 5, even 6 hours long, and no one wants to really be listening to something that long. So, what we may do, we're still looking at this. We may, edit parts of it and just keep the most important things in the audios and in the videos we share with you. Now, having said that, the 3 individuals that attended, uh, very impressive, and there's some more that you'll hear from them perhaps in the audio. One great thing, one lady, I believe in 2005, she witnessed the ship right over Kelowna. She was not the only one that saw this. There were others at that time as well, one of the huge motherships. So lots of cool stuff, as we said, at these gatherings when others share their stories. Now, prior to the Kelowna gathering, uh, but also part of our team, we were meeting other individuals that, let's say, were awakened to certain degrees as well. But again, they were kind of separated, that they didn't know more of what was going on, but we had proceeded, to give some connections. For example, one lady, I gave her my card and things, and because I don't even believe she's on Facebook. So, we are forming the connections as well. But some very interesting ones are out there that are not connected yet. So this is great. And it's given us the opportunity to run into more of these and, even on the street and just let them know, we don't go out, as I said, on the street looking for someone. How divinity occurs is it's not chance meetings and you just meet and then you very quickly purvey whatever information that goes with it. I will say the last week that the Pleiadian aspect has been coming up, and I will say and attest that I have met ones that were awakened that do have the Pleiadian aspect as perhaps their most prominent aspect showing towards me at this time to me. That was the one I picked up. So very interesting as well. I wish to keep this as short as I can um, because we have so much to do. The team and we just got like together on Saturday, and we have a lot more refining to do with the gatherings. We learned so much from Kelowna, and we're going to keep refining and perfecting things as we go along with it. So with these gatherings, it's always a success if one is there or if there's 1,000. So it's always perfect because who's supposed to be there is. And it was a very delightful gathering with the three individuals. And I'm always just impressed with, everyone that I do meet and with their gifts. And, some are so modest and, because of society and the way things were, that they kept a lot of things away from other people that they didn't share. They kept it within. But we are in this great time of sharing and the unity and that bonding, if you will, as well. So it begins, and with this, everyone is not perfect yet, if you will. Everyone has their unique situations, but we keep evolving. And by the purveyance and the sharing of information, that's how we make everyone stronger and united. And it is working. Now, the route that we were going to tentatively travel from Kelowna to Calgary, we have changed that. We are now traveling a south route going through Creston and Cranbrook. We may at this time need to go up to Nelson or the Slocan Valley. So I'm putting that out there for anyone in those areas that's watching this to keep up to date on it. Our next gathering is in Kimberley, and that's on Wednesday evening. However, it is possible on Tuesday evening we may be somewhere around Nelson, Creston, Slocan Valley area. We'll see what we get done today. At this time, I'm backloaded with messages because of Wi-Fi uh, technical difficulties we had, and that's also because of the incoming energies. We had an internet package, but with that service, uh, for some divine reason, even though we have service, we were unable to get the internet. And last evening, I had anticipated that after we had the gathering, I was going to deliver a live and an update to you then. However, what occurred is that no, we couldn't, for a divine reason, no, we couldn't make a connection. So I just did it at this time. And what I wish to say, we are still working on trying to get our internet working well. So right now I'm only using a free Wi-Fi again, so that like kind of restricts us. So we're trying to get our mobile Wi-Fi so then we can deliver at a more better time that we have a little bit more control of it. So just bear with us. Everything's good, and and the show goes on, if you will. So energy's erratic. Yeah. One thing what to do at this time is just go into your meditative state or whatever calibrates your energy the most, whatever exercise you may have just to keep your energy stable for any of you being, more affected with it. What I'm feeling from the collective is a lot of anxiety, excitement. It's combined. It's a weird sort of energy that is coming from the overall vibration and from the masses. Because as we know at this time, what we have occurring behind the scenes is uh, great change. It's here, but it's being integrated into this now, which will perhaps it may take a couple months before it's integrated and released fully to the public. But what is occurring, you are straddling two different energies. They're all on the same timeline, but you have a 5D energy, and then you have the ones that are not awakened there, and it's mixing and it's bumping and doing all kinds of erratic things. That's the way I wish to look at it. The energy is erratic, so just try to keep yourself stable. And also with this, where it is in Canada, it is Canada Day today. What they're celebrating, there is a lot of let's say alcohol and a lot of those sort of activities. And you also have July 4th coming up. So with those sort of vibrations, you tend to get a lower vibration as well. And when you have the higher ones separating, it's causing static as well between. So that's great. We're doing remarkable things there going forward. So the separation of timelines for individuals, because it has to be, but this is only a temporary thing. Again, we saw a few months ago that some were not ready, that they had to go back and do their inner work and things. This is the same sort of principle, and no one can bypass that inner work. You may surf, but to get your vibration to the ultimate highest, you got to do the inner work, and you've got to integrate that unconditional love. And you have to be open for all things truth to change going forward. So it's best to keep the mind fully open and observe everything neutrally without placing a judgment or a conclusion or a preconceived notion on what it is. And that is so important, because I can guarantee every one of you that things are going to change more. When you awakened, how the truth changed then. It's constantly changing as we go higher. Certain truths will change. So it's best just to, keep your own energy good and keep your connection to God and focus on that. And if you need to separate from negativity at this time, by all means, do that if you need to do it. It's very important to keep you the strongest, because you are the beacons of light. You are the highest vibrational ones to make this change and to uplift the vibration of all of Gaia. So it's more important that you don't be distracted by the lower density forces at this time. So we're creating the new, we've got all this stuff just sitting right there within reach, and we got to keep our focus on the good stuff, what we want. So having said that, reserve your energy to whatever degree you need to do, and keep your focus on your guidance, divinely what you're guided to do, and focus. But it's good, as we know, to keep on the unconditional love and the positivity, but yet be wise. Don't I suggest don't get caught up into some pity or sympathy cases that might come in. Use your own discernment, because sometimes the darkness, as you know, is kind of tricky. So you got to use your discernment with that. But you all know that. So we will be keeping a journal. We started taking pictures. Where every place that we're visiting, we will be painting pink hearts, or at least one pink heart on a rock. If we camp in a place overnight along our route, we are leaving behind a red heart or a pink heart as our symbol. And we will be keeping a journal. We will be taking photos of, hearts and things that are appearing along our path as we travel between gatherings, because the group we have, we create the love and the good things, and it's reflected in the reality. And you see the hearts, so we're going to document them. And also we're going to document which we have already begun to do, experiences we are beginning to have with others. I will say Sharon's telepathy is strong, and her interaction with the rest of the team, we are also already seeing higher telepathy as a result of this team being in constant contact, and I as well. So we can attest that it is true. The unity and staying together, what it does, and it increases your gifts. So very beautiful, amazing times we are in, and we're loving it. And all of you will see this as well where we're going, and some of you already have. I know it's beautiful. Um, so also, I've been meeting with a few individuals prior to the Kelowna meeting. Several, from the time I initiated this on the 14th of June, I've had um, several meetings with individuals or a couple, and again, it is always very impressive. And there was actually two powerful individuals I met with prior to the Kelowna gathering. They had anticipated they would be going, however, for whatever circumstance, they didn't show up. But what I wish to say here is how impressed I was with their, let's say, expertise on certain areas. And one thing was a lady in the sovereignty area, and the amazing work she was doing with that to show ones as well how to take back their consent, uh, from the government and come back into your divine sovereignty, which was very important, as we all know. So she had so many great things. I would have loved to have spent more time with her to get more information, but I had anticipated she would have been at the gathering and that she could have shared it, in front of all instead of being repetitive. However, she did not show up, and another lady with I had met there in the same area. Her immense knowledge on herbs and the natural plants, and her beautiful soaps she made, which are amazing, all natural, which are important, the natural ingredients. However, those two did not make that, but perhaps in the future we will we will connect and keep in touch. So that was so great. Um, at the gathering, so we're doing a yoga. So uh, in the first parts of the gathering, we'll be offering an um, no experience needed yoga. And I did take part in it yesterday in Kelowna, so I will also be doing it now because I love it. I did it the other day for the third time, but I love it. So I will be taking part in our little bit of yoga. And what we're anticipating doing is, we'll have our welcoming, then have our yoga, um, to loosen people up and get you, in a good state and get rid of some of the chatter so we can focus on the discussion. So we have that. Also at this time, I believe Sharon, she's very powerful in IET healing, and she's very efficient. So what we may do towards the or at the end of the gatherings, any individuals that may wish to have an energetic healing to align your energies. Sharon can do that very quickly, like 5 minutes per individual, but we recommend it to be at the end of the gatherings for the simple reasons that with some, there is a lot of purging that will come. It depends on the individual. So you may have someone that may cry for 20 minutes afterwards, or as an example. So we wish to have it the IET that Sharon will be offering free, of course. All of this is free what we offer, and we're funded by by the Ascension community to continue empowering ones to the fullest. And Sharon is very powerful to that degree. I know others can attest. She has assisted a few in the past, and there will be more that can attest to her prowess. But all of you know um, that it's very real. All of you that worked with energy, it's the same sort of thing. You know, the Reiki and polarity healings. You know, we got so many new healing modalities that are coming up, and they're all equally important and they are all effective. So it's great to do whatever we can to empower the individual. And again, that's one of our goals with this Ascension uh, caravan gatherings. What we are doing, it's to get the individuals connect, transfer energetic codes, and yeah, we're doing it. Whoa. Um, so we'll be doing that. Also, at the end of the gatherings, we will be blessing the area when we're done our gatherings in whatever ceremonial, quick, one line or two affirmation to do to bless each area as well, to leave an energetic, high vibrational imprint on the actual geographical location, which we can do quickly. What you can do now with your minds, you are so quick with doing it. You are so much more powerful. So, very quickly you can manifest, but you also can energize things. So we'll be doing that. So, yeah, we're still constructing and organizing the team to better serve as we go along. And anyone that has, suggestions that are at the gatherings, or anyone that, if when we're playing some of the feedback to you, anyone has suggestions, please PM us. My message box again is pretty full. I have messages there from several days ago I have not got back to yet because I am so busy with this. But as we get going and get our other things set up, the team will be assisting I with those messages too. So any of you that have messages there, as you know, I usually always get back to you unless I get very busy. But now we have a team, so we should be able to get back to you pretty quick on that. And at these gatherings, we are also, I wanted to write this with the team, an Ascension manual, just a sort of a point form guidelines that we can leave behind for anyone at the gatherings that may be just awakening, and they'll have a point form manual that they can just reference, if it resonates with them. And that's what we're all about. It's what resonates with any. And that's what you go with, what resonates with you, because that is your guidance. So it's always so important to do that, which is great. So we keep going forward. There are times things won't resonate with ones, they'll go, but once they get the work done, they got to come back, because we're all light and we all converge with that. So somewhere's up here, somewhere's we all converge, So that's very, very important to know as well. But we need the way showers going forward, the stronger of you, the creators, to keep creating the new timelines and holding the higher vibrational space, so that then the others will then levitate up towards that. So it's important. If you don't have anyone going forward, and if there's a lot of work to be done, well, then everyone becomes stagnant. So you always have the ones going forward, preparing the futuristic timelines for the other ones to more gradually slide into with more ease and a more comfort. So it's important to know that. Now, you may say that no one is better than anyone else. At the end of the day, when we all get back to where we are at, no one is. However, there are teachers, there are peers here to assist those ones to get them up. So we make teachers, all besides all of us. we all become teachers, then we're all the same, then we go to the next level. It's that simple. But you always need someone taking the first steps to assure that there's always advancement forward, that you don't have stagnation. So that's what's occurring now. So it's so that's great. So we'll be posting some flyers around some towns, to get in some, as I said, some that might be awakening. I have certain flyers. We have them wrote up, and Darcy, she has tweaked those up for I, which is very good. And those are for an audience of someone that is confused, don't know that we're out here, that's just awakening and don't think they have anyone. So we're covering all bases with this Ascension Caravan gatherings that we're doing. And, it's to accommodate all that we can and all that we are supposed to. So that's great. Very quickly, I got a lot said. Yeah. So we'll be posting things as far as we know on my timeline and Real Angels page here. At this time, I suggest just give us time here to get things out. As I said, we're still dealing with an internet service provider to try to get that aligned as well. And we will get it. Matter of the fact, Helen just texted me, said to try it now, but I'm using another internet and I'm doing this. So we got lots coming for you. So there are things happening. We just didn't get it out yet. So I love you all, and many winks, and such amazing times. Thank you all for, all of this support as well, and are joining together in doing this and making it possible. And it will again grow very rapidly. What we have set up, what we know is coming here in the near term. There will be more great interest because this should rapidly expand as we go across country. But again, the tentative route that we set out between here and Calgary, we had to just deflect off of that for very important spiritual reasons and divine reasons to get to the others and connect with them. And we all know how divinity works, that when you surrender and you follow divinity, that you're guided right exactly where you need to go. So what has occurred, our route has changed between Kelowna and Calgary. So we now have dipped down on Creston, Kimberley area. We may go back up towards Banff, but what we're not doing is making any definite plans. We go with divinity, and as things unfold, that is our path that we follow to get to the ones that we are divinely supposed to get to as well. So it's great. It's pretty warm in there. I'm going to go out and get some fresh air. We're in the summer, and I'm inside of Betsy. So again, and thanks everyone for joining. And there's a lot of comments, but I'm not going to take comments or answer any questions at this time. But I love you all, and I know it's so important, and we'll keep you updated with everything that's going on. Just as I said, bear with us. It is happening, and however long it takes for us to get some more out to you, it takes that long. So, great. Love you. And winks, and namaste, and woo! We keep going. Have a beautiful one. I love you all. Thank you. Okay. There we go.